Hello, everyone. As you can see, my
Oh
friend
no.
Gianluca have technical issue with his welcome because he's really
Here I am, okay. Hi everyone. Welcome
welcome
to our new stream.
welcome back to the channel. And as you might know, today we're gonna look at Bioshock. Very old game,
Oh yeah.
very nice game. One of my top 3 games I played, so it's gonna be pretty exciting and nostalgic. And
Top
I'm
three, yeah?
yeah, top 3. We'll say
What are the other
Half-Life,
two?
Half-Life,
Okay, Half-Life.
Dishonored, and Bioshock. But yeah, so
Yeah.
without further ado, I'm gonna introduce myself. I'm Leonardo. I'm a senior level artist at Ubisoft Toronto, and I worked on games such as like The Division or PUBG and other like smaller games. And I'm currently working on Far Cry 6. And with me, I have Gianluca.
Mhm. And I'm an Unreal Engine developer at H Farm, a company based in a city near Venice. You just need to know this.
And I had someone already knows in the chat. Today is my birthday, so
Oh
I'm gonna
yeah. Happy
celebrate with
birthday,
you.
Leo.
And I'm gonna celebrate with new emojis such as
Yeah,
like
as you can
paddles.
yeah. We have paddles. We also have a bowl of spaghetti. That is our logo. And also we have some cables. There's always some cables. And we have a big classic, the Rule of Third, and lights because there always need
Always
of
lights.
lights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi Dan. Yeah, I think we're gonna stream for 2 hours. If you're back after 2 hours, then you still see us. Yeah. And thank you for the birthday wishes. And another new addition is the chat. Now we got the chat at the bottom of the frame, so you guys can see your messages in the recording. So it's gonna be more interesting.
Oh, what a level up.
Wanna level up? And
So before we start, Leo, I have a gift for you. I sent it before. It's a folder that you can now open, and we can see what's inside.
let's see what's inside. So this, oh my god, folders. So I'm gonna switch to the to the note screen so that we can all look at it. Lights everywhere.
This is the first one.
It's pretty good.
They are
Pretty good.
heavily related to our new emojis.
Pretty good.
Hope you like it.
Okay. Let's see. Shall I
You
open the
can,
second one or should I wait? So
yeah, you can
we
go with the second one.
we got 3 emoji, and I'm gonna open the second one. There are some
Pipes.
there are some skills, yeah. I can see how this hair can fit my style.
Have you seen?
Oh god. And then the third one is excuse me, straight, do you have more to talk about?
This is my favorite one.
Really good, really good. I really like this how you integrate my face in those characters. Really good. You did it really nicely done. If you
I
guys
did
need
also some color correction, dude. So
yeah,
it was
pretty good.
a nice job.
I like how my bitch face works for every shot. So guys, if you need some meme, feel free to commission that to Gianluca. He will be happy to make some meme for you.
Yeah, sure. Okay, that was fun.
Okay,
I don't
now
know what's
we
wrong with my webcam actually.
yeah, I think yeah some problem, but I think we can start to to see what's Bioshock about. Let's go back to the video. All right. Has anyone in the chat played Bioshock? Let us know in the comments.
Okay, hopefully now will work as intended.
Okay. You want to say something about Bioshock, Borto?
Yeah, I didn't know actually if I wanted to say something because it's a very, it's a classic, it's a masterpiece, and in case you didn't know, the story behind Bioshock, it's heavily based on a submarine city that was built in a secret location in the Atlantic Ocean by a tycoon named Andrew Ryan. The idea of the city was a place with potentially no rulers or political influences that were dominating the world in that time. And it was meant as a refugee for the brightest minds chosen by Andrew Ryan himself. The version of the game that we are going to play is the remastered version that came out a few years back. The original game was released in 2007. And I hope you're going to enjoy the gameplay.
Pretty cool. So we just crash. We're on the plane, we just crash, and now we are like getting back to the surface. And look at that. Right off the bat,
We got
we're gonna see some
big paddles.
big puddles everywhere. So right out of the bat, we got a really used and abused way to attract the eyes, which is contrast. You can see the silhouette of this thing, which is really cool, and how bright the moon behind is, right? And the clouds that are getting lit by the moon. So because of this kind of thing, it creates so much contrast, which attracts the eye. So that's easy way. And obviously, the moon is very huge to make this possible. And it's very cool. I can see there is another like a bit of cheating here. There is another source of light. This is a light that is coming from this direction, and you can see that on this part of the thing, which is a bit weird because the moon is behind, so why there's light on front of it. But I guess that's just to add more information to this tower, and I think it's something that we do in games to make them more immersive, more like to present better things. So I think this is a bit of a cheat, but it's a good thing. Obviously, there's also a big lighthouse on the top, which is signposting where to go. And as someone has said, there's a huge paddle. You are swimming on a paddle this time, which is really good for reflection.
Yeah. Yeah. I love the intro. And also, I always talk to why someone, that it's in the middle of the sea, decide to go inside and go right into the city with the submarine. I mean, would you do it, actually?
Details, Borto, details. We're not looking at those details. Guess we would not do it, but do you have any other chance? You just go inside and the door is closed, so you cannot escape. So where do you go? You try to find another way out, and you see this thing, and like, oh, what's in there? And then you press a red button that say, oh, this is a cool red button.
It sounds like a great idea to go inside this machine and pull a lever that we don't know what it does, right?
Yeah, I would do that for sure. Look at that. This is a good opportunity for the dev to show you things. Yeah, why not? slow and says.
Why not?
I guess
Exactly. So,
if your life is not boring, then
I am
you wouldn't do it.
Andrew Ryan, and I'm here to ask you a question. Is a man not entitled to the sweat of his brow? No, says the man in Washington. It
That's a
belongs
good
to
game.
the poor.
How did you
No, says
find the
man in
remastered version? Was it looking better? Was it playing the same? Was like
the man in
the
Moscow.
gameplay was a bit
Belongs to everyone.
changed?
no, I played the game when it came out years back, so I didn't really see the difference. But maybe because in my mind it always it was always beautiful, you know. So in this shot we can see that in the remastered version I saw that the main difference is the vegetation here.
Yeah,
So
the
they
algae
put a
on the
lot
water.
all these fishes.
Jellyfishes, yeah.
Yeah, jellyfishes.
So right here we got like another good example of things that you can do in your environment or in your game or whatever. And I mentioned already this kind of technique, which is like framing. So in this case, because we are in this elevator here, you can see how the view is a bit constrained, and you got this frame here, and this part is basically like just without any information, so that your eyes focus only on the center thing, and you can see, you can frame things in a way. And then if we use that as a frame, then you can see if we divide in thirds, this like little square that, oh my god, that was a very not straight line. If we divide in third, I guess it's kind of like that. You can see how this part is like one of the third again, and yeah, overall I think they use both the framing technique to make you look at certain details of the scene, plus they also align things with the rule of thirds. And then what's also really nice is the cloudiness of the water in the background there, that creates a nice atmospheric effect to the scene, and thanks to the lights that is behind, so like probably a light that coming from behind there and a light that's coming from there, that cloudiness and that like light is creating like more planes, so you can see the silhouette of the plants here, you can see all like these plants there, the cables, you see guys this cable, look at those cables there, cables everywhere, amazing. And then yeah, the silhouette of things, which is really good to create a sense of depth and sense of depth, and to create a more like a cinematic look to the scene. And one thing again, that we have this bridge here, which is now we can call sky bridge, or maybe just tunnel, and it is not very lit, but the most lit part, which is also in front of the lights in the background, is where the big daddy is, which is already foreshadowing that sort of enemies you're gonna encounter. And again, it's also in the rule of thirds, so they're really try to highlighting in a very subtle way, let's say. And yeah, overall looking good. Yeah, rule of third. Come back. You can see how all those hugging create a sense of depth and movement towards the space. It creates this parallax. So pretty. Fishes everywhere. A lot of lights here.
Yeah, and branding, I guess, right?
Yeah, a lot of branding. Yeah, it gives you like a sense of this place. It gives you a preview, and you can see how many signs were there, because this is probably one of the main entrance of the city. So imagine you are at the exit of a trafficked road in real life.
Mm-hmm.
You will see a lot of signs there because people want to put the sign there so that a lot of people see it, and that's the same like kind of logic, I believe.
Yeah, like Times Square or something like that.
So we're coming off the water. I remember this part was pretty scary.
Yeah, because you feel like harmless and trapped in this boat.
And the fact that the light goes on and off, it's like, ooh, am I gonna see it?
Spooky,
And then,
scary.
yeah. And then those reflections there. From heaven to hell.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it wasn't
So
really heaven crashing with a plane, but yeah, you can say that.
Yeah, but
Compared to
from-
this, looks like a heaven.
From outside, Rapture looked beautiful during that scene, but once you are in, you start to understand what went wrong inside of it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, cool. Now I think we can almost get out. If you guys have any question in general or like about the game, about things, feel free to ask in the chat.
Take a deep breath and step out of the bathysphere. I won't leave you twisting in the wind.
Look at that paddle there.
I'm gonna need to draw her line, but you're gonna have to trust me.
Yeah, this brings back memories, right?
You can see the movement. You had the bubbles coming up and fish moving, just to create interest for the eyes. Pretty cool. Flickering light, making it spooky.
So I don't know if you remember this part, but listen carefully. Not this part. Next one.
Now, would you kindly find a crowbar or something? Bloody
Did you hear that?
Crowbar or something. Is that a reference to Half-Life?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good catch. I didn't saw that at the beginning. But yeah, one thing that I want to point out here is that in this case, we got this spotlight coming from somewhere that was oh my god, I can't draw. Oh shit. The proportion of my Wacom is really bad. We got this spotlight that was showing us what was happening with the guy like jumping around, and then this spotlight, which I think is a camera or something, landed on where you actually have to go, which is where you have to get a crowbar or something, which is a really cool reference to Half-Life, which in this case it's here, right? And on top of that, I think the fog behind this door that is blocked with the debris highlights this place more than others, obviously, because it creates like this sort of gentle contrast with the foreground and the background. And long story short, like the spotlight can be moved and can be animated to guide the eye like very efficiently to where you want the viewer to see, and then you can keep it still in the position where you want the player to go. So obviously that.
So I also love the way that they placed those destructible objects right in front of you.
That's like tutorial straight away.
Yeah.
I can control myself. I can.
Did they improve also the NPC? It looks like, no?
From you mean the artificial intelligence or
No,
the
I mean like the look of the
okay.
NPCs.
I think yeah. He is better with melee weapon, it seems. Yeah. Have you seen those reflexes right there?
The what?
The reflexes, you know?
Yeah, it was very quick.
The dodging.
Pretty good. Slow and is impressed with that. Slow and wait to see when he's hacking things. It's gonna be super fast.
Yeah.
And just for everyone that just joined, Bort is playing this Ultra Nightmare mode. So it's all like skills.
Exactly.
Alright, so I guess we just got our Adam.
This little fish looks
Yeah.
like he just had
You know, you go to this weird place, you see some drugs, you're like, oh, look at these drugs. Let me try a
Yeah.
bit.
Let me inject these drugs just for fun, you know?
Yeah.
Spock. Weak. You're a weak chopper. This little fish ain't worth towing with no big daddy. Yellow. Always have been. You'll be no better
For who
off.
just joined, we are analyzing the environment of Bioshock from another point of view while we are looking at the gameplay of the first hour. If you haven't played Bioshock, we really recommend to play because, in my opinion, it's one of those masterpiece game out there. And it's a good thing that they did a remake so that you can experience it without having the old generation looking barrier of
Wait a
immersion.
minute. He's still breathing. It's alright.
Do you know when they released Bioshock, Borto?
Originally,
Yeah.
in 2007.
2007, exactly. a year after they released Half-Life 2.
I feel like there are no masterpieces like those games, you know? Bioshock was so strong at the time. Yeah, because of System Shock, right? It's the spiritual successor, I think, of System Shock 2.
Exactly. So one thing that I wanna talk here is the plane crashing here. Apart from breaking this linear corridor and making it much more interesting and increase the intensity with the water coming down, and you kind of have, the time pressure of, oh, I need to go to the next thing, otherwise I'm gonna, die underwater, which is not the case because we don't have this car will not get filled of water. But what this is we call this a wow moment. Like, wow. Oh man. Wow. Cool. This one. And it's basically those moments where something really big happened, like a plane crashing to in a corridor, like in this case, or an explosion or something that is like that makes the viewer and the player say wow. And we got plenty of that, and that's just to break a bit the quote monotony of the gameplay. Yeah, I think it's good. So you want to say that? Obviously, placing too many wow moments one right at the other is not really a good idea because the player will get used to the wow moments. So you need to place them at the right moment with the right pace.
Wow or run moment? Asked Slowhand.
In that case, both. Usually wow moments are always like connected to something happened. Like, oh, look at that. Like, I don't know, something that makes you, something that you should look at it because you're getting ready of a fight or stuff like that. Look at those skills.
So I remember that I saw a talk about the game where they said that right in this moment you will require a new dose of Adams, a kit. So they put this, the entire place is filled with Adams.
Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward. We got these stairs going up, which is obviously like We don't need anything else to lead the player up. But just in case someone is not sure, these lines here are literally leading the player up. And you can see how, oh my god, I can draw today. Whoop. Okay, you can see how they are like nicely leading the player up. We got also the banister, the bottom of the banister here, going up. And that obviously comes naturally every time you use the stairs. But the fact that the banister of the stairs has a different material, so you can see here is like light brown or like metal, probably like bronze or something else, I don't know. The fact that it's that color and the fact that we have a light probably off the screen here, you can see that it's lighting here, and it's also lighting this, highlighting even more, which makes this thing even stronger to it. Obviously we got, because we are just in a stair, we got a central composition. So we got this line here and everything is almost symmetrical. And because the paintings on the side are not symmetrical, but they are a bit angled, I think because what just happened a few seconds before that something hit this building or something, it shows a bit that the state of what's happening in this world, which is like chaotic angled things. So that makes sense.
I didn't mean to hurt anyone. The money.
I guess we're going up now. Again, this is another opportunity. You know that the players are gonna be here, stuck here, and they will experience whatever you put in front of them. It's, you can see there's someone like knocking that door there, like let me in.
So it's a very similar experience like the one where you entered the city. From the outside looks beautiful, but inside rotten.
Yeah, exactly. It gives you a bit of that like sensation. One thing here I wanna show is that as soon as you came out from the door, from the elevator, which was another way to frame the player towards a certain direction, you got obviously the rule of thirds. And guess what? Let's see if you can guess it. Where is that door? This door is right there in front of the rule of third, which is it's like automatically pleasing the eyes to land on that thing. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Doesn't look like you can go anywhere because it's all very close, and you can see the visual language of that door is not just a door, but it's a door with a like gate here, which probably is the visual language that we will see throughout the whole game, which shows a door that you cannot open. So, but there is something interesting there, and there is a light pointing ahead, which just makes us want to go there. Also this other thing, which is more like a world building element that shows the world that you are like playing in. It's on another rule of third, which is really good. And I think I know that eventually you will go on the right side here, but I think the devs wanted you to go check some elements down there and then go back.
Some loot. Yeah. So I have a question.
Question time. Let's go to the question. We got this new transition here. I hope you guys like it. Let us know if it's too loud.
Well, I forgot the question. No, actually. So we said a lot that Bioshock is a masterpiece, and I wanted to ask you a fancy transition. Yeah. Does your work get influenced by masterpiece like Bioshock? Is there a game that you use often as a reference for your work or as a source of inspiration?
Yeah, I guess it can inspire us. Like games can inspire us, but when we're making a game, we don't want to find, for example, reference and how they did things in other games, because we want to make sure that the game that we are making it's unique. So oftentimes we don't find reference from the game, but rather we find reference from real life, and we go through the process of converting real life reference to what we want to make in the game with our art direction and things. Because things that you see in games have been through so many iterations, so many a strong art direction, like in this case. So you don't want to take inspiration from that art direction. That said, I
see.
think playing a game can give you a lot of inspirational points, like I don't know, things that you can do in a mission, or tricks that they did, like what we're doing right now, right? We are looking at a game and we're getting inspired on how to achieve that level of quality in terms of composition, storytelling, player leading, etc. So from that point of view, I think, yeah, that could be a thing. And obviously, I myself put a lot of time Easter eggs in the game that I was making, and those Easter eggs were from other games, like Half-Life, like crowbars everywhere, but Easter eggs about TV shows. That was pretty cool. And,
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't know if the chat wants to ask something. If you'd like to ask something to Leo, just drop your questions in the chat. And
yeah, or to Borton, no, only me. Gonna go back to the video. Are you single? Who's that for?
Are you?
I'm not single. Not single.
This is happening before and none. Why aren't you here?
Either one. Are you single, Borton? Oh.
No, me neither.
Thank you for the subs.
Oh, a Prime sub. Thank you so much.
Really appreciate
sure.
Welcome, GS Stillman. And, thank you guys for the support. Really appreciate it. So one thing I wanna point out here is we know the player just went through the door, and we know that we can control how the player is looking. Yeah, let's see if there are some pipes in here. No, there's not many pipes. So we know all of those things. So if you see the rule of third. The rule of third here, we got these nice elements here which remind us what year is it. And in fact, it's not 1959, but it's 1916, as we learned from the beginning of the game when there was the title. So this is telling us that probably
something went wrong.
Something went wrong at New Year's Eve, and decoration from New Year's Eve party is still happening. We don't know exactly, I think, which month of the year we are, but I guess we are around that. So yeah, we got this element there, and we got the rule of third. We got the year where this game is set in. And another nice things that I want to point out is the destruction here. You can see how we got this railing that is bended towards that direction. So it looks like something from behind this wall was thrown towards that direction, and you can see there are more debris there. And then there are like play cards. Probably there was a table or something, and then you can see how the planks here are broken. And then you got more planks here. And I think that's it, and that's really nicely done, because you're not just like breaking the railings, but you're like connecting the logic of this destruction throughout the 4 different elements, which integrates really well, really well the this thing. And yeah, just want to point out that.
Pretty
Cool.
good.
Best friends butchering one another. Babies strangled in cribs. The whole city went to hell.
By the way, my Twitch app crashes because your source output is oh, it's that's something that we need to take in consideration.
Yeah, we're streaming this size so that when we make the highlights, we can crop the video only and have it full HD. But yeah, if that's causing problems, we might want to fix that.
If you spot a splicer in the water,
But I don't know if in your Twitch app you can actually choose the quality, but maybe you could try to put a lower quality like 7720.
Another New Year's.
Alright.
Another night alone. I'm out and
I think here we learn that the electricity
imagine
can kill enemies if they touch the water that you are shooting electricity to,
have another drink.
which is really cool.
Here's a toast to Diane McClintock. Silliest girl in Rapture.
Gameplay.
Silly enough to fall in love with Andrew Ryan. Silly. What happened? Are you here to help?
I like how these NPCs are spawning behind corners and they scare the shit out of you all the times. And again, here, you see, we got toilets, we got bathrooms for women and men, and that's something that you need to take in consideration when you're making an interior, because bathrooms are everywhere.
Hey, Brenda, you care to tell me why you had a hole in the wall?
I'm wondering why Gianluca went straight to the women side, but that's another conversation.
It's a thing of me, I have this thing.
Yeah, here it's I think it's another good opportunity to look at this frame. We're coming because it's fun, exactly. We're coming out from this like broken wall from the men bathrooms, and guess what? Rule of third, baby. And if you see like the railing here that is broken is around like those 2 things. Probably if Porto was coming out a bit more, we would have seen this aligning better, but you can see how that is. And also those railings here is really helpful to guide the players towards that direction. I guess you got this one here going like that, and you got all the debris there going to that direction. On top of that, we got this platform here, which suggests, oh, maybe I can walk on there. And lastly, what's really important is how everything is integrated. So in this case, the debris on the floor here, I think that comes from the bathroom where you're coming from. You can see all these like bits of concrete and bricks and things that are coming from the opening that you are going to. And they are also here, which helps to guide, which adds details where you want the players to see, so to go. So you see like how the directionality goes like that. And lastly, thanks to the light from the top, and I think I just drew on top of it, but thanks from a light that is like on top of here, you can see how the banisters here are well highlighted, especially like the very hand, making it very very like very good for player leading. And also we got like elements here that are bright, which attracts their eyes too. And with that said, you can see how these other so let me change color. Let's use this red. This other side of the environment behind this wall, and also like the side here is very dark. So clearly the intention here is to lead the players in that little spot, and I think it's nicely done. Nicely done, thanks to the framing coming out from the bathroom and where things are placed and where the details are and where the lights are lighting. It's cool.
Careful now. Would you kindly lower that
Obviously you got light there. And what's really cool about this is that no structures are going between the camera and the scene down there, which is really cool because it allows you to keep an eye on everything really nicely.
Yeah, it always also feels like very unsafe.
Yeah.
Those little sisters, they carry Adam, the genetic material that keeps the wheels of Rapture turning.
Here you can experience something very impactful right at the beginning in a safe environment, so you can really change the course of things. You can just be a viewer in this case. They're watching a film.
Yeah.
And you learn how
Kinda.
hardcore the Big Daddies are. There you go. And I like how he broke the glass that you cannot broke. And actually, if we stop here a second, glass that you can break in the games usually have like a grid, like in this case, or they have
It's true, actually.
some beams. They have some elements that signpost the fact that you cannot break those glass versus others that doesn't have those elements which you can break. So that's an easy thing that you can do. And the fact that he managed to break that, it shows you that he's very powerful. And the fact that that body is now in your safe space, it makes you feel less safe and more like vulnerable to this Big Daddy, I guess. So someone was coming out from there. It's pretty cool, pretty cool.
Meeting with locals.
Posture check. Ah, okay. I guess we need to check our posture. So I wanted to stop here. Actually, I'm gonna move a bit forward. Like, yeah, I guess. Because I wanted to show you, which is something that I already spoke about it, but it's really, that's another chance to look at it. And it's like player leading. You got these lines, that line, this line. Obviously, the painting is also helping. They're all leading towards that, which is obviously because it's a 1 point perspective, and you know that's the corridor, so that's where we have to go. But apart from that, especially from a bit back from this view, you wouldn't able to see this. There's a wall here, so thanks to those lights shining from the left, it's kind of telling you that the left is open and you have to go left. So you know you go left there, and lighting it works really well to guide the player, as we all know. And in this case, it works really well to proactively tell the player that they will turn left when they reach that corner there, which is pretty smart and improves the navigation. Another thing that I wanna to point out is the details that you see on the walls. As you can see here, we got some skirting, and I repeated that a lot of times, but it's never too many. We got this skirting here, which really helps to blend the wall with a floor by creating that sort of transitions in terms of details. And you can see the same thing applied on these like arch pillars here. You can see there's like also some silhouette information, and then that becomes like really interesting, which is really cool. And yeah, there's another like nicely blend level of details there. And probably we can also see here a bit on this other painting. We got this element here, and then we got the frame, and this element helps to blend the elements too. So all these kind of details from big to medium is really good to make the scene interesting. So if you're looking from like in a 2D point of view, what you want is like, okay, so if this is like the main subject, you don't want this like from vertical to horizontal, but you want to place either like, I don't know, something like that and maybe something like that to help blend this sort of details. And that's, I think, what they did here. So in this case here, in the case of the wall, you got the wall there, you got the floor here, and they add like a bit of skirting, which helps that transition. Which is really cool. And also, covers like weird 3D lines, which otherwise would be interesting.
Cool.
Cool.
Sorry.
I hope Slowhand is impressed with Borto's skills. Look at that, we got physics in this game. I guess, yeah. Oof, what we saw there? What did we saw there? What did we see there?
There were. What were there?
Now I'm gonna stop it. What do we have here that I'm gonna call it out?
I think there's a paddle.
Paddles, guy.
Paddle, right?
Paddles. You can see here there's a nice paddles that breaks this nice tile flow. And there is a lie here, which could have been like maybe somewhere else, but I think it's there. And thanks to that, you can see the paddle here, and it's really good way to create some some contrast, some material contrast between the matte and the shiny. So very cool. So always put paddles. We got an emoji for paddles now, so always put paddles.
Lovely paddles.
Good kill.
Thanks. So I actually forgot to turn off the arrow, the quest arrow. I just saw.
Yeah, don't worry. Slow hands knows that you're still good even
I'm a newbie. You're new, yeah.
For who just joined, we are looking at Bioshock, and we are analyzing from an environment point of view what they did good and what makes this game so good from a Levelart point of view. If you have any question, as always, feel free to ask in the chat, and we will do our best to answer those questions. That's so cool. And again, today is my birthday, so wish me happy birthday in the chat. Uh-oh. Next emoji tip. We got that. We got rule of third emoji. we just haven't figured out how to unlock it for everyone.
KGB Wolf or the CIA Jekyll. Here's the news. Rapture isn't some sunken ship for you to plunder. And Andrew Ryan isn't a giddy
So
socialite
Slow and
swept around by
actually have
farewell.
kind of question. I don't know if you can answer that.
I would like to hear
It
about
has-
the game's art direction and using art deco
Yeah.
elements in level design. So yeah, the art direction in this game is really strong, and I wasn't a dev of it, but I can see how strong it was and how unique it is. And in this case, Art Deco is more like a universe, less than like a way to lead the player. Obviously, some elements of the Art Deco movement are present also in the game itself. Like you can see, like in the poster there, in the way that the wall is blending with the floor. There's all elements that, thanks to lights, thanks to storytelling and elements like that, are like helping you leading the game and guiding you around. But yeah, so I think the Art Deco that Slowhand is talking about is more like a general theme of the game, the whole game, rather than like something that has been used for level design purposes. Obviously, then as a level designer or as an environment artist, I would try to create things that brings the Art Deco elements, that highlights the Art Deco elements.
Ooh.
Got some messages.
Hey, Sharkale. Thank you, dude.
So I hope that answered your questions, Lohan. One thing that I want to say here, and I want to ask you guys in the chat, is we have this door again. This is as I mentioned many times. This is another way to frame the players, to frame the view of the player, so you can see how the players can only see inside this door opening here. And I want you to tell me if the player has to go left or have to go right, and I give you 50 seconds.
Me?
Yeah, in general,
It
people
has to go.
Obviously,
Okay.
you play it, so you know it. So don't spoiler. So just
Yeah, but probably I saw because why you asked that. So I'd like to make a guess about it. If the chat doesn't actually.
yeah, the chat is sleeping, so okay, you can make a
Yeah.
guess. Let's see.
I think we are going right because the light it's not centered, but it's kind of on the right side.
So
Is it? Or maybe it's because there's no. I don't know.
So the center of this frame is here, and you can see how the light element here, this poster
shifted.
here, is like slightly towards the right, which is like making it's almost like we got a scale, and you put a lot of elements on the right side, like these things. So obviously the direction goes on that side in terms of how to balance this view. On top of that, using the same analogy of the scale, you can see there are also more details coming from the right. You can see that, which is also another way. So in the scale details, so if we have another scale and we put the details, again we got the details more on the right. So again, more on the right. And then lastly, which is probably not intentional, but in this case, if you have if you can work in that way, you can see the poster. There's like this line and this line, which is sort of creating an arrow like that. So in this case, what I see is that there is a bit of rebalance. So in terms of player leading arrow, is kind of balanced because we got elements on the right that are pushing right, but we also have the arrows and elements from the poster that is actually pushing a bit left, so it's kind of balanced. So obviously you want to go right because of these two elements here, but at the same time you also want to go a bit right. And you can see probably another things that they try to do, which is often seen in photography, is to place the dominant eye of a character, in this case the girl in the poster, in the center of the composition, in this case in the center of the frame. Probably if Borto was slightly more on the right, it would have been on the center, but obviously they can't control that, but they try their best to make that happen. And yeah, so based on that, I think you're going right, and then but there might be something on the left, but we will see. And lastly, before we do the stretch as was requested, I want to point out again the details that I was talking about earlier about the skirting here. You got like the skirting here, and then you got this like band here with some Art Deco details. So again, we got this like steampunk, not steampunk, but like this Art Deco details, and it's pretty cool. So if we look at like those sort of details again from Art details to do 2D representation, we got the wall, we got the this thing, which is that thing there. We got this thing coming out a bit, which is the bronze things, which is lit with the light, which is really cool. And then on the bronze we got some indent there. And then at the bottom we got this thing, which all apps guiding the details and helping blending better this sort of details. So now we're doing the stretch. You ready for the stretch?
Yeah.
So the stretch, we're doing this.
Right.
There we go. I went climbing a few days ago, and my shoulders and my back and my arms are all like painful, but feels good to go back to climbing, especially in these cold days. Thank you for the stretch. All right.
Thank you, I guess.
Let's go back to the video.
So Jay Stillman said that he's the kind of player that it will go to the left, either even if he knows he go to the right.
Yeah, that makes sense. And in that case, yeah, it was a good call to go there. And so here, another thing that I wanna point out, and going back to Slowhand, the question about Art Deco used to leading the players around. We can see how here, coming from that corridor, we know that the player is gonna look forward coming from that corridor, and we know that because the corridor is not in the center of the frame, in the center of this room here, this is gonna kind of fall around there. The rule of third, guys, come on. You guys living? So obviously now I stopped the frame a bit later, but if you see like this medical pavilion logo thing, and that it will have fall like this section here. On top of that, thanks to the floor, we got plenty of perspective line, because how perspective works. So we got these kind of elements, and then nicely they put this plant. I love plants, so all very cool. We got those in the foreground, so we got a lot foreground elements like this thing, which is apps to create depth in the image, as well as when you are traversing the space, you will see the parallax here, and it will make so like really more dynamic and interesting to the eye. So yeah, very obsessed to drawing perfectly the silhouette of everything. So now let's wait. All right, so cool. So yeah, we got this like foreground here, pretty cool. And yeah, back to the Art Deco thing. You can see the poster on the left, which it can be not on purpose, but as we mention often, we overanalyze the environment so that we can learn from it rather than knowing exactly what the dev did. But in this case, the poster is very lit, so you got like a strong light coming from that thing there, which is pretty cool. And you can see the design of the path is kind of, you know, kind of giving us some directionality, and it's like going up. So maybe this is like aligned to the fact that we're going up here somewhere. And it's interesting that on the right side instead they use other poster, which wonders me if they made that on purpose or not, which is, you know, interesting. But yeah, so if you can integrate the branding and the, you know, the posters that shows off the universe of the game is set in, and you can use that to guide the players, it's even better. Last thing I want to mention to this area is the level of details that this area has. Actually, let me use a brighter yellow. Level of details that this area has is very high, which leads the eye to look at that location. And also on top of that, we got some light behind again that creates some nice atmospheric effect, and also makes this broken destruction pops out more, which is where you wanna go, I guess. Yeah, pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
I guess it wasn't clear enough for Borto, but it's fine too.
No, I also need to check the map.
Good job, good job. That was definitely hard. We got some fight here. Cool. Thanks, Lohan, for the sub.
Thank you so much, Lohan.
Thank you for supporting us. Did you just do that for the emoji? For the pipe emoji? Is that what
Or
you
maybe
want?
he misclicked it. He misclicked on the subscribe button.
Anyway, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
If you want to use the
Yeah, thank you.
access, you'll be needing Dr. Stoyman's key. He's the one that runs this place. But I don't expect...
So I guess here we are trying to unlock. Oh my god, look at this. Look at this. Come on, Sloan. Put us some pipe in the chat. That was for my birthday, thank you. Obviously, pipes, cables, leading, super cool. And then coming inside this corridor, the light here was creating the same effect that we saw earlier, which was leading the players towards left. If for a player that doesn't want to search for secrets, there you were going left here. Pretty cool. I'm not sure, but this fan here might have some movement here. I think the blade is spinning or something. Oh, look at these nice flowers.
So pretty.
So this creates like movement, which is something that we always try to, to create to make the environment more dynamic. Very cool. I like the flowers. Hope you guys like the flowers. Look at those skills. I think Slohan subscribed just for the skills.
Yeah, learn something from the best, Slohan.
I really like here that instead you can see the glasses and doesn't have the grid, so you could have really said that they were breakable, and it's nice that they don't let you go back to where you came from, but they let you jump out like that.
Yes, run, you coward!
Oh, sorry.
Damn security around here. We need more hands.
That was kind.
Your mistake. Tacky little nothing. We can sink you, you know.
Okay.
So maybe we could actually ask a question to Leo. What do you think? So just let me. Okay. Okay. I just wanted to ask. That was a more complex scene that we just saw, and what are the most common questions you ask yourself when creating an environment? Maybe more complex than the usual.
I think all the environment are kind of complex because in the terms of that you always have to put yourself in the shoes of other jobs. For example, if you're making a facility where there are a bridge crane on the ceiling and it's moving, you need to understand the engineering behind the bridge crane as best as you can. Obviously, environment artists are now engineers, so they cannot like figure out everything, but at least learn as much as you can to make things believable. So I think in that way you need to put yourself in all the shoes of the job of the environment that you're making. So in this case, if you're making where were we, like at the entrance of a medical section of the city, I think in that case you need to think, okay, how do the hospital looks like when you get in? Like, is it clear? Do you have the map? Like, you try to came out with this kind of questions that you ask yourself and you want to find the answer. In the case of Bioshock, I think a bit of because of the art direction, the dystopian environment that we are playing in, it's all like we were like different from an hospital, so it looks more like a private clinic, right, with like a small entrance desk to accept visitor and patients, and then you have the stairs going up. So probably those elements, you will see those elements also in the normal clinic, like in the coach on the side, the painting just to create something to look at while people are waiting, and things like that. So yeah, I think you put yourself in the shoes of everyone and
That
try
makes
to
sense.
ask yourself your question. Ask like, how will you do that? How will I, build that space? Well, what is the best way to, in a real life situation, to have guiding visitors to this place? And then you try to convert those answers to a game, and that's how you try to lead the players where it has to go. Make sense?
Great. Yeah, thank you so much. So as a reminder, we are taking questions. So if you chat want to ask something to Leo, just drop your question in the comments, and we're gonna do it in the next session, next Q&A session.
Yeah, also want to point out that we have a challenge. So with the spaghetti that you gain by watching this stream, you can pay and put the spaghetti in a challenge, which is Porto dance mode for 1 minute. So if we reach 30,000 spaghetti points, Porto will dance for 1 minute and we'll do like ballerina tricks, like rotating like that. So it'll be really cool. I really recommend.
That's interesting. I didn't know we were doing that. Okay, that's nice.
Pretty cool. All right, let's go back to the video. Oh, I guess we clear the thing. You see here the desk, which is where the receptionist is staying, and I guess the receptionist is dead. But you see there are plants, plants are nice in those spaces to make it interesting. Let's see what we got there.
Did you play also the sequel of the Bioshock?
Yeah, I play all of them. 1, 2, and the one in the sky.
Yeah. Did you like the second one?
Yeah, I think the first and the second were really cool, and the other was like still nice. Infinite, yeah. I really like there's a part where you are with a kid, and I don't want to spoil the thing, but things happen in a very big scale point of view, and it's really cool.
Okay.
Really cool.
So, what's your favorite? The first, I guess.
I think the first, yeah. I think the first.
And what comes second? Infinite or the two?
Maybe Infinite, because they broke a bit the same thing, and they went like on the other end. So from underworld they went like up in the sky, and it's kind of interesting to see that contrast. But also the second one was a really good game too. On
Yeah, I agree.
all of them, I really like the soundtrack is really cool. So in this shot here, I want to point out how, again, we're coming out from a door, and bam, right in your face, you got a lot of elements that the devs wants you to see. So we got this poster, and we all know that there are 3 posters, and we know why there are 3 posters. Because 3 is
It's a magic number.
magic number. Exactly. So, 3 is cool. And it's really nice to see how, all the details behind like there are rows there, and there's blood everywhere, and there's something written on the floor there. And I think there is something here. I don't know, maybe it's like part of a body or part of what they used to draw down. And, right in front of us, you can see all those details. Again, you can see the details on the walls, which helps really good to blend the walls with the floor, which is really cool. We got the water here, which is creating movement, and it's creating like this sort of paddle there and movement, which is again another way to attract the eye. Got this that we know that we need to get, so obviously came there like, oh, let me check that. And right at the beginning, once you enter this space, you see the signage, which is really important. Because signage not only helps players navigate a complex environment, but also makes that environment more believable. Because in every place you go that public can access has some sort of signage to guide people, right? If you go to the hospital, you get that's where the surgery is, that's where crematorium is, and that's, I don't know if you have funeral service in hospitals. I don't know, but maybe, I don't know. Do we have funeral services maybe in the hospital? I guess we do.
Well,
I guess. No, I don't know. Anyway, the signage here is really helps to ground this space, and it's not making it just like a game environment, but it's grounding it to reality by creating this sort of signage things. You can see another one here, and that's pretty much it. And again, branding and signage, as I mentioned already in other places, is really good to create a direct connection with the world we are living in. So, for example, in Bioshock, we are playing this game in this underwater in a very like non-realistic setting, but thanks to the branding, that settings kind of connects to our reality, which is which helps to play and do things and make things more believable. I don't know if that makes sense. Probably doesn't make sense, but I hope you guys understood. But yeah, 3 is the magic number. Here we got some storytelling and some.
I'm trying to do this exercise that I summarize your talk with emojis and numbers.
We need a magic number emoji here.
Yeah.
A 3 with a magic hat, with a wizard hat.
And also a branding emoji with a sign or something.
Parasite expects the doctor to heal them for free. The farmer to feed them out of charity. How little they differ from the
I played so long ago, and I kind of forgot like how dark Bioshock is in terms of blood everywhere and things like that. You see Slohan how fast he's hacking those turrets?
It's like a natural skill. Me. So I asked you before about Bioshock 2 because I didn't really like the second one. And I think the best one is this one, and Infinite was pretty good also. But the second one, I don't know. They also introduced the multiplayer, if you remember. That was kind of bad.
Yeah, I don't remember the multiplayer, to be honest. So, yeah.
So,
you
yeah,
good?
go on.
Yeah? So this shot is very interesting because obviously you got this arrow here, which is nice on this like little plaque here to break the monotony of the floor, which is obviously leading you that direction, right? And one thing that is really cool about it is the color of the light of this location here. It's kind of yellowish, and I feel like it's kind of unique, and that's also connected to the title of this place. You can see Eternal Flame, which suggests us that there is flame or something. And if you look at on the left side here, where all these like blue steams is coming out, we got ice. So to me, that's let me change color. We got ice here, and to me, this is like a foreshadowing that we go to get the flame to melt the ice. 1, 2. So you can see the problem and you can see the solution thanks to the fact that there is a flame here and the fact that this place is called flame. So you can already do the logical connection that inside here probably you will find things to melt this ice. And what's also really nice about this is the fact that the light and the blue create a very interesting gradient in terms of light color. So you can see on the floor how the blue here is like blending with the yellow and vice versa, and that's really interesting looking lights. And on top of that, I think like from this location here, from this like archway here, which acts as our foreground elements, which is again really cool. Create parallax and makes things more interesting with the silhouette and everything. After that, if you were to look at both things, you will see how this eternal thing and the eyes will both fall on one of those intersection line of the rule of third. So you can see how, if you look a bit on the left, this will be on this thing, on this corner here, and that will be on that corner. And probably this guy will be on the rule of third of the rule of third. So which is, if we draw another rule of third there, it will be there, something, which is create a really dynamic movement to the image, which is like kind of like that. And on top of that, which is last thing, which we all know already, we got light signposting something important here. But at the same time, we got plenty of leading line thanks to the perspective. So we got like ceiling element, we got the tile that naturally creates strong directionality thanks to the perspective, and the rotation. What's happening? thanks to rotation they are facing. And also like these elements here is like helping as well. It's like signposting that at the same time as helping. So the wall here, like pointing there, and you can see how inside there there is a bright light that makes the silhouette of this space more interesting. Coming from there. So definitely looks like, oh, that's where you go to solve this issue. Hope that makes sense. Again, feel free to ask any question. And it's interesting because the other day I was watching Slow and playing Rage, and in Rage they have something similar to the flame thing, the incendiary skill.
Really?
Yeah. Anyway, go back to the video. Best pizza topping.
Yeah, that was the question. You ruined the moment.
Sorry. Best pizza topping. That's interesting question.
What's
To
the
me,
best pizza
to me,
topping?
the best pizza is you take a margherita, which is like the classic pizza, and you add what do you add? You add like olives, like green and black olives with the pizza cooking, and then after cooking, you add freshly arugula and cherry tomatoes on top that add the freshness to the pizza. And to me, that's like the best pizza. What about yours?
Well, I see. Mine is actually with mushrooms, ham, and pepperoni, and also help me, Leo. How do you say pomodorini
Pomodorini is
in
cherry
English?
tomatoes.
Okay, I see. Yeah, that's my favorite one, and also olives. And that's
So
it.
yeah, an arlecchino pizza.
Yeah, kinda.
What is your favorite pizza, guys? Let us know in the chat. While we go back to the video.
My skill that fails me, my imagination.
So let's try to start a poll right here. So, right, I think near the end of the video, we will encounter, in case you didn't know, the first little sister. And you have the possibility to choose if you wanna help the little sister and let her survive, or if you want to harvest the little sister and gain all the atoms that she got. So, do you think I will harvest the little sister, or I will actually? Got it. Or will I free her? Spaghetti pizza.
Obviously, if you participate to that prediction, you're gonna gain point, which you can use for the challenge to see Borto dancing for 1 minute. So.
Oh, 1 minute. Okay.
He's gonna do the spaghetti dance.
What's the spaghetti dance? I can't. No one kills a sweet little girl for more Adam.
Alright,
Well,
so you guys saw
we'll
what
see.
happened here? You saw what happened here? So if we go back a bit, there was a really smart thing that they did here. So we got this long corridor. Actually, let me go a bit forward. We got this long corridor here, and at some point, we got this pillar in the middle, which is, you know, you might say, oh, that's maybe to break line of sight. That's maybe to do something like that. But in this case, you know, this pillar here, and the fact that there is, I'm gonna simplify with a cube. fact that there is like a cube here that is blocking the right side, is basically telling you to go left. Oops. Okay, to go left here. I mean, to go like that. But when in this location here, when you are turning your camera to go around this obstacle that is in your way, you are basically looking at the left side of this tunnel. You're looking towards that direction, and from these windows, they frame a nice, they're foreshadowing the Big Daddy walking over there on another sky bridge, which is to me a really smart way to do that, because they don't take the control away from you in terms of camera, but they just suggest you're gonna go left, so you're gonna look left and you're gonna see it. It's really smart way to do that, in my opinion. In fact, you see here that you're blocked on the right, you look left and you see the light of the helmet of the Big Daddy, which is sticking out a lot. Plus movement, plus the steam coming out, and you're looking at that and you're like getting foreshadowing of it. Thanks, Marcos Brito Jr. Really appreciate you liking this.
Thank you. So I think the prediction ended, and the chat said that I will harvest this little sister. No one actually voted no.
Oh, okay. I guess they think you are a bad person.
I see. Okay. Thank you, chat.
Okay, let's see what happens. So I guess, where are you going now? Special ammo? I think you're going somewhere. Oh, look at that headshot again. Can we please save that clip? Because we don't see those clips very often.
Oh no, I never harvest them. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, only a bad person will harvest them. Aimbot. Sharks is saying that you have a aimbot.
When Picasso became
Maybe true.
people, he started representing them as cubes and other abstract forms. The world called him a genius. I've spent my entire
Look at that paddle there. My god.
security cameras. I can hear the infernal things all around you. Ryan's eyes and ears.
This felt kind of strange, this part. I thought I could jump on it.
Good. Thank you for reporting him. It's not cool for other players.
For other players in a single player game. Okay, I see.
So it looks like we are in this morgue or crematorium, and I guess that's where we're gonna learn how to use fire. So one thing here, when I saw it, I was like, oh my god, there you go. So here they are literally foreshadowing you that paddles are now not just paddles, but they have oil. You can see that. You can see the color of the classic flammable gas thing that you can see when it's wet. So it's literally say, okay, I'm gonna learn how to throw fire because I need to melt that ice that we saw earlier, and also you just saw the paddle there probably can get on fire. So this here they are teaching you before you even have the fire that you need to be careful when you throw fire because you might get on fire yourself because of this reason. Really good, nicely done. I'm wondering if you shoot at that if it gets on fire.
I think no. That's not a thing, if I remember correctly.
Let's see. Pretty cool. Obviously, I think we saw that. We saw what was going on here. If we go back a bit. Not too late. Actually, let me get the others. Another screenshot. Better screenshot of that. Obviously, you have an exit there, which is where you will get off later, which is why you weren't able to get on top of it. But what I want to say here is that this place here is probably the objective, and you can see thanks to the lights inside, you have the purple light coming out there, and you can see like a lot of contrast in terms of value inside there, and you're like, how do I get in? Probably if you go like where the door is, you will not be able to get in, but there is a lot of light reflected on those shiny tiles, and you can't really tell that. But once you go check that shiny light, and you're like, why the shiny that is the light bleeding towards the wall? At first, when I saw that, I was like, oh, is the light bleeding? Like, is like the GI not working properly? But actually, this is like a hole, like a high vent hole or something. And you can see that there is the panel that was closing that there. So that's literally telling you, oh, go there in order to get inside there. And that's obviously very, very used as a technique to get inside places. You can see that in Dishonored, Half-Life 2, and other very good games. And in fact, you go in.
I always love the places where you gather the new powers in Bioshock.
Yeah,
They feel very detailed.
And I like to see how all those like dispensers are almost always on the ground, because they highlight the chaos that the Adam brought to this world. Here is a really good thing, I think. So we're stopping here, and I guess we already know what's gonna happen. So they really wanted to tutorialize the fact that you can use the paddles to get everything on fire, and you remember in front of this office here, there was like a big puddle of oil, and you can tell that this is where the oil starts. So right now you are safe, the enemies are not getting in, but you can already kill the enemies by getting on fire this thing. Do you like my fire? I don't know where it's going.
That's fine.
Okay, so by getting on fire that, the flame will go outside this little thing, and they will get back to the main puddle where the enemies are standing and kill them all while you're still in a safe environment. Another cool thing that I see here is that probably at the time because of budget and everything, but you see how this thing it's on the ground, and oh my god, it's on the ground there, which is really cool, and it shows like the narrative of the space and everything, and you can see that to blend better to tell a better story, that why, like, what happened to this, they put these broken tiles on the floor to shows that because someone knocked that off, the weight of that thing broke some tiles. And obviously nowadays you will see the same thing, which is really good, but also you see the texture behind those props here. You see that you still have the tile, so ideally you wouldn't have the tile, but you will have a different texture, so that you can integrate this even better. And yeah, but overall I think it's really cool. I like the tutorialization of the flame, and I think there's a good chance. Really, really cool.
All roads in Rapture lead to Ryan. Security, the splicers, the big daddies, the little sisters. He pumps some kind of chemical scent in the air. Pheromones, they call it. Makes them all dance to his tune.
Money, money, money.
Obviously, we got the exit there, and that's, you know, a different way to exit this space, which is cool. Always cool to have a different exit point from the entrance to create some sort of variation. I need to use the bathroom a second, so I'm gonna leave the control to Borto. He's gonna explain you how to make cool environments now. I'll be right back in 1 minute.
Oh, yeah, okay. Help me, chat. Help me, please. I'm all alone now. Tell us about Unreal Engine. What do you want to know about Unreal Engine? Yeah, Bioshock was actually developed in Unreal Engine, it's true. I think UDK. Don't be so happy. Don't be so happy, Jan. Happy? What do you mean? Shouldn't I be happy? So a funny thing about that these numbers 0, 4, 5 and 1 is that the same code was used in games like Deus Ex, Dishonored and System Shock. It was also very clever, yeah. Immersive sim.
I'm back.
There was a cool sequence where, well, you missed it, so.
Should I go back? So for who
Maybe,
just joined
maybe
us,
not.
we are watching, like playing Bioshock. We're watching a video of Gianluca playing, and we are analyzing the art of the environment and understand what details makes this game so good and what can we learn from it. So what do we have here, guys? Can someone guess what I'm gonna point out? We got massive paddles, guy. Massive paddles. That's like the dream.
Massive.
That's what you want to see in game. You want to see paddles because it creates reflection. Unfortunately, because let's blame Gianluca in this case, because of his not very powerful computer, we don't have like real-time reflection of the shadow on the water. Because
I don't think there are in this game actually real-time reflection.
there must be a mod or something. But in this case,
well,
yeah, go ahead.
the game was actually at the max settings, you know, so.
All right, but anyway, in normal games, like it's really cool, you know, having a paddle and the shadow like that is like a really cool thing. And again, I see a lot of pipes in the chat, so let's bring them up. You see that pipe there? It's like you see how it starts in the frame that you can see, which is the frame that we can see is like this one here, like this opening here, but it goes on the right, so it's obviously like already telling you where to go. Plus maybe there is an opening on the left, but you can already see there are debris there that are blocking the view, blocking the way, that way. And again, that's another good example of the details details we have on the wall. You can see we got this line with this interesting pattern there, and then we got normal tails, and then the wall. And again, that's another good way to blend vertical details with horizontal. In that case, we got something on the ceiling, I think. We got pipe here, we got that first tile there, and then we got the other type of tile. Maybe we got also some skirting, and that's overall create an interesting blending where the corners are, which is where we want to blend better. Like this part here. We want to add some details to make them look.
Are you drawing?
Oh God, guys, sorry, but I forgot to move.
I just
the...
noticed.
Yeah, so that's what I was talking about. Sorry. Go back. I like how. When we go back.
Spooky, scary moment.
Obviously, flickering light, making it nice. I like how here you are shitting your pants.
Yeah.
That's a good way to make a jump scare. Oh my god, we got some pro players playing here. I think Sharks just post a link of a mod with RTX.
Oh, cool. Well, I used the official settings, so actually didn't know that there was something like this. That's cool.
Feel like someone's gonna die. Oh my god.
I think this was scripted.
Was it?
Yeah. I think so. See?
Classic shotgun scene. I'm recently.
Something happened.
I was playing Half-Life Alyx the other day, and you got the same kind of introduction of the shotgun where you can see very little around you, and enemies are getting very close to you, and you're like getting scared by those headshots. Pretty cool.
What VR headset do you have?
A friend of mine led me an Oculus Quest.
Okay, cool.
His name is Matthew Sane. It's a level design that I'm working with. It's a very skilled level design. Yeah, I agree with you, Sloan. The health bar of NPCs is a bit ugly. But if you look at it, it follows the same style of Art Deco thing. One thing I want to point out here is how cool and how interesting these details is. You can see the silhouette of this edge here, like very interesting and different from what we saw before that. And plus the blood there, plus the bullets, it might suggest us that something big is shooting things, which is probably what killed Borto before. And you can see it's broken here too. There's like broken windows maybe with a dead body there and something that I can see there. But yeah, you already see blood, which is okay. There's something that can kill me, and you can see big bullets hole on walls, which is probably like high caliber thing, and broken pillar, which suggests that can be very explosive and high damage. So it's already telling you, oh, be careful when you turn this corner because things that can kill you might be there. In fact, Borto turns around. Fuck that.
I went the other way.
Oh, God.
Pussy out. So I learned my lesson. Yeah.
As you can see on the walls, on like from the ceiling, there is always stuff moving. And again, for who's just joined, having things moving in the environment is really good to create a more immersive experience and environment. You can see the texture on the wall is like a panning texture animated with a time that is just like flowing down and then connects to the main water thing. Or water dripping, or like steam moving, or fan spinning. All those little things can add a lot of movement to your environment.
Very well. Right, I'm introducing lot 44 now. We've codenamed
Right,
lot
what
44
happened now?
Rage because of its tendency to...
There's a bit of narrative. I like how we're doing all of this. We're going in these like underwater things, and what you do, you steal money from these people.
So I don't know why, but this is one of my favorite part. I love this place. I don't know why. The way that they teach you how to use telekinesis.
You can even catch grenades and throw them
Yeah,
back.
it's very cool. Looks like you're gonna catch some tennis ball, and I think they did an
Yeah.
amazing. Bioshock did an amazing job on how to tutorialize all these different skills, and I think it makes sense because 2000. If you think about 2006, 7, there weren't many games so ambitious in terms of new mechanic and new things. So they really worked really well. They did a really good job on how to tutorialize all those different skills to make sure that the players really experience in the best way possible all those things, which is really cool. I'm gonna make a meme of you hacking things. We are so fast. On Spotify, there are some playlists that are really good with the Bioshock soundtrack, and really good. And now that you learn these telekinesis skills, you got NPCs that are throwing you things so that you can really get a feel of it. Probably towards the end of the game, you're gonna see a mix of different NPC, which will make you change like skills and be creative in the way that you use those skills.
Do you remember a plasmid? A power in Bioshock that is your favorite one? I mean, my personal favorite one is the one with bees, when you are throwing swarm of bees against the enemies. That was I love that part.
Yeah, that was a good one. I don't remember anything in particular. The bees reminded me of Bioshock. I think on the second one you got some bees that you can throw at enemies and get them confused. The first one you have rats. It's really cool.
Rats?
Yeah, I think so. You can have rats coming around.
Isn't that Dishonored?
Yeah, I'm talking about Dishonored.
Ah, okay. I thought you were talking about Bioshock.
From the tyranny of the commonplace, I'm here to show you a kind of beauty. I asked her.
Yeah, again, things going on. The electricity sparking is literally like, look here, and then things happen. And now it's open, and you can go through that. Good.
Oh, I remember another power in Bioshock that was so cool. Actually, I love the animations that the hand were playing while in idle mode. There was these squishy balls. I don't know if you remember that you have these squishy balls that they keep squishing in the hands, and when you throw to the enemies, they join the fight with you.
I don't remember that. Pretty cool.
Developer aiming. Yeah.
Half-Life 2.
Half-Life 2? You mean the squishy balls? Oh yeah, there was a squishy ball also in Half-Life 2, like a grenade or something like that. Do you think Prey/Dishonored will exist without Bioshock? What do you think, Lev?
That's a good question. I would say that's a good question, and I think they will exist, and they might be different. Definitely, what Bioshock did or other games did when they released is introducing and giving like teaching players globally how to experience games. So before that, we weren't able to use like superpower with the hands like that, and now we do. So now we got that new ingredients that we can use in the game. And I think in general, when you make a game, you always you don't try to reinvent the wheel, but you try to come up with some ideas that are unique for the game, and that's something that that's the reason why I think Prey or Dishonored it will still exist even without Bioshock, because the dev team will have to think about how can we make this unique, how can we, what can we do to make this gameplay feeling very unique and in line with the direction that we want to go. So I think that thinking process that go behind the gameplay and the brainstorming thing, we would have had to came up with that solution. But definitely I think Bioshock gave some inspiration, like some, again, they didn't reinvent the wheel, they just take something similar and they improved it, they make something like that. So
yeah, I think that definitely they could exist, but they wouldn't be the same as we know it, because like Sloan wrote, System Shock, Deus Ex, Thief, Bioshock, etc. are those games that gave like standards, in terms of new mechanics, teachings, and also art style. Prey was heavily, I think, inspired by games like Bioshock. 0451, yeah, while you were peeing before, there was this combination for the lock, for a locked door, that is the same combination that we have in all these games. So 0451, it's in all these games.
like the cake is a lie. Bam!
Yeah. Kind of.
That's a good reference there. I'm gonna go back to the video because we're getting towards the end. So here I just want to remind again, there is a glass you can break, so you gotta read that signpost that the glass is not breakable, so you can just experience what's going on there.
So, thanks to Alan Porfirio for the follow.
Thank you. So this looks like a bot, kind of a boss. You can see the fan spinning in the background. Again, creates interesting thing. We were talking when we were playing Metro about having lights from the muzzle, and you can see how the enemies are like making this point line flashing all around, and I think that's really cool to create a sense of chaos.
I think the launch music got stuck in the
Ah.
play mode.
Let's see if we can stop it.
Bioshock was like I can say. Yeah, I agree. Let me just check. I think Bioshock actually came as a temporary exclusive for Xbox, for the Xbox, or maybe it was a Windows exclusive. Microsoft. Yeah, it was actually a Microsoft exclusive for the first year, and then it came out in 2008 as a game for PS3. Yeah, I agree that it was probably mainly designed for consoles.
We got a suggestion from Marco.
Yeah, so
to make an environment from scratch and live stream while we're making it. I think maybe we can think about something like that. Yeah. Maybe rather than making something from scratch, which can be long and boring, maybe take an engine that allows you to create maps like a Far Cry 5 or like
like a mod kit,
yeah, something
maybe.
like that, and try to make an environment and see so that you can see the thinking process. Good suggestion. We are also planning to make special episode. We don't know yet the frequency, but we're thinking once a month, where we look at other people games, like indie games or project, like a personal project that are made with a game environment point of view, and try to look at them, analyze, and maybe provide some feedback that can help the artists to improve what they made. So if any of the viewers is working on a personal project or is part of a game, an indie team, let us join Discord, and then at some point we will start this special edition where we look at personal projects.
So this is the moment. We will learn now.
Can you launch again
the prediction?
Yeah, by keeping the same announcement ready. So for those who just joined, we are just predicting if Gianluca saved or sacrificed the little sister.
I don't know. I think I can't.
Maybe next time we can leave it for longer.
Yeah,
there is a timer.
Mm-hmm. I can just, post the result of it. But we'll see. So the chat said that I will harvest the little sister. The chat has no faith in me.
Let's see. And then here is where we stop and we say, this video was sponsored by... Sorry, we don't have sponsors, but that would be like a really good way to...
That would be actually a pretty good moment here, but there are no sponsors.
Are you ready, guys, to know what happened to the little sister? So for who is not aware of what the little sister is, you can decide to save the little sister or sacrifice them and get the atom out of them. And the game gives you this option to define who you are in terms of character you are playing and to feel more part of the story, because I think either choice will dictate different slightly different ends of the game.
You have different endings, yeah.
So before we reveal that, as Shags recommend, smash that subscribe button, and and if you like what we're doing, share it. And let's see. You ready? You ready? You ready?
I'm ready. Are you?
Yes.
You know,
And
I
he
can be a
saved
good
it.
person too.
Thank you.
Oh my god. You guys. You guys.
The result was no. I saved the little sister.
So I think with this, we're gonna end the video. I'm sorry if the transition is very loud. We will adjust it. To me, it feels very loud, but we'll see. And I hope you guys enjoy it. And again, next game we will do, it will be Cyberpunk, which is gonna be fun because, as you all know, Cyberpunk is full of fun things that can happen.
It's unpredictable.
To guide the players around, to see motions and things. So I think it's gonna be a fun fun game to look at. And it's also very recent, so we can probably see a lot of things we can learn a lot of things from that too. And thanks again for the wishes. And if you like what we're doing, subscribe, do whatever you wanna do to spread the cyberbugs. Do whatever you wanna do to spread the
yeah, you can follow us on social medias to keep updated with new content. We usually also publish the VOD of the stream on YouTube, and then we usually do an highlight of it. So for people who don't have enough time to see the whole thing, we can actually see the highlight. Also, we have a Discord channel where you can join the discussion, where you can propose new games, or just join and say hi. And that's it.
Again, guys,
thank you.
See you,
thank you, chat.
On Thursday in 2 days at same time, and we're gonna see Cyberpunk.
See you next time.
Spread the pipe and spread the cable. And now we're gonna roll the credits. Now we got credits that shows who subscribed and who followed in this episode. So I hope you guys enjoy and have a good rest of the day.
Surprise.
Thank you very much.
Good.
Obviously, the credit didn't start, but next time we're gonna make sure that the credits are there. And I actually, since you are still here, we might, write some friends. Let's see if there is someone online that it's writable, so that you guys can support the other game devs and seeing what they're making. Let's see. Okay.
At least the music is nice.
Yeah, it's nice. And it's like, do you know how to ride on Twitch, Gianluca?
Yeah, yes. Well, but who do you want to ride?
I think we should ride first Crimson. I think he's usually working on a nice environment. He's from Toronto too.
Okay.
I think we can go with him.
Let's do it. And start trade.
Bye bye. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Adios.